Good afternoon and welcome to James Franklin's weekly press conference. We'll start with an opening statement from Coach and then go to Mark Brendan for the first question.
Like always, appreciate everybody getting on and covering Penn State football. When I want to summarize the Indiana game briefly right now, we won the turnover battle, which was significant. We've done a pretty good job of that all year long. We're going to have to continue to do that moving forward. We did not win the penalty battle. It wasn't a lot of penalties in the game. We had 5, they had 3, but we did not win that battle. The drive start battle we did win. The sack battle we did win, and the explosive play battle, we were able to win that. We did not reach our goal on offense of 16%, but we did have significantly more explosive plays than they did, so we did win that overall. When you talk about getting into, a few more points about Indiana, positives from the game. I thought we're playing tremendous complementary football in all 3 phases. I think our situational awareness and situational mentality has been really good. I think, you think about all the situations that came up in that game, and we handled them all very well, so pleased with that. First time Indiana's been shut out since 2000, which it's strange to me to think that that's 21 years. 2000 doesn't seem that long ago until you say it like that, but in today's day and age, with the way offenses have changed, that's an impressive stat. Indiana was 0-2 in the red zone, 1 at the 4-yard line, 1 at the 13-yard line with a blocked field goal. Blocked field goal was impressive. That's our second one of the season. And that kind of reinforces my point about situational awareness and situational mentality. And then opportunities for growth. We got to have a complete week of preparation, meetings, weight room, practice, regen and recovery, nutrition, treatment, academics, all of it will matter. So getting into Iowa, obviously got a ton of respect for Coach Ferentz. You talk about 23 years as a head coach at Iowa, 31 years overall at Iowa. Has just done a tremendous job. The level of consistency that they've had throughout their program, not only from a win and loss record, but from a coaching staff perspective, really all of it. It's impressive. 18 starters returning. Obviously, we're getting into the point of the season where I don't know if those returning starters matter a whole lot anymore because we're deep enough into the season, but they did have 18 starters returning. That's impressive. Brian Ferentz, Coach Ferentz's son, is the offensive coordinator. Obviously spent time in New England just like his dad did, and has done a nice job. Is really doing a nice job with their offense, playing to their strengths right now. We've been impressed with Tyler Goodson. Seems like he's been playing there forever now. The running back, he's explosive. Tight end Sam Laporta. They always seem to have a tight end there who is a challenge, to deal with. And then their offensive lineman, number 65, Tyler Linderbaum, is really impressive. They do an excellent job with their play action. I think that's probably the biggest thing. We're going to be working that all week long. Play action, play action, play action. They do a really good job of getting 4 and 5 guys out into their route, so it's not like they're just going max protect all the time. They do a really good job of getting their guys out, and you see their tight ends and running backs are targeted a lot, so that will be the challenge dealing with them. You talk about defensively. Obviously, their defensive coordinator is maybe one of the most respected defensive coordinators in college football. There's been consistency there. He's been there for 11 years as the coordinator, but was there obviously a lot longer before that as the defensive backs coach. But they do a great job. They're consistent. I would not say that they're simple, but you look on tape and who they are this year, for the most part, is who they were last year and the years before that, and their kids are sound. They lined up, and they're sound. They're never out of position. They play fast. They play aggressive. They play with great confidence because they're allowing them to line up and play. And they got a really good scheme that is challenging. It's not like a formation that you can turn on, or a motion, or a shift, or empty, or formation into the boundary where we feel like, okay, here's a formation or personnel group that's going to allow us to get some yards just based on alignment. There's no easy yards out there. They do a great job. The guys that stand out with us is the DN number 97, Zach Van Valkenburg, very, very much a Iowa defensive line name. Seems like they always got a guy like that. Linebacker number 31, Jack Campbell, impressive. Watching him on tape, I didn't realize he's as big as he is listed, but he's active and really productive. Number 44, Seth Benson, linebacker, impressive on tape, productive as anything. And then number 33, Riley Moss, the defensive back, who actually went to the same high school as Jake Pinniger. We're going to need to establish the run. We were able to take a step last week with our run game. That's going to be really important, not just for our offense's success, but also to help our defense out with time of possession. This is going to be one of those types of games. We're going to have to grind it out and help our defense out based on who they are as an entire organization, but specifically their offense as well. From a special teams perspective, I think year in and year out, they do a great job on special teams. It is obvious that this is something that Coach Ferentz invests in and respects. Coach Woods does a great job with their special teams. They always got a wrinkle or something that you need to be ready for. Their returner, Charlie Jones, is impressive. He makes plays in the punt game as well as in the kick game as a returner. The other thing is trick plays. We're going to spend a lot of time on those things this week, whether it's on PAT field goal with shifts and motions and swinging gates, as we call them. They ran one a few years ago that we had worked on, but they still were able to be successful with it. They're always going to have a wrinkle in there that you need to be prepared for. So we're going to be working all those things. We've gone back and broke down all the tape really since they have been there, and any trick that they've run, and they've run some good ones. They do a great job with motions and shifts, so we're going to make sure we get all those things covered this week. Tremendous opportunity that we're excited about. We're going to need to have great practice today and build on it all week long. So open it up to questions.
Mark Brennan, Lions 247, and then we'll go to Greg Pickle.
Hey, James, thanks for your time today.
You as well, Mark.
Could you take us through some of the things that in your mind make Jahan Dotson kind of the player he's become and with the consistent level that he's been performing? Yeah,
he's smart. He's got elite ball skills, maybe some of the best ball skills that I've ever been around. He is smooth and fluid. Doesn't look like he's running sometimes, but no one can catch him. I think he's added more of a physical presence to his game now. There's times where he just gets the ball and knifes and gets north-south and gets an extra 2 or 3 yards from that. I think he also has got a really good feel, not only in practice but also in games with Cliff. They've just played so much football together. I think that's been valuable for both of them. But he's a really good athlete. In high school, he was a high-level track guy in the long jump. I think he won a state championship. He was a high-level basketball player and a high-level football player. And, he's a guy that was thinking about leaving home and going far away, and we were able to convince him, and specifically his parents, to stay close to home, and it's worked out really well for him and us. I think you guys know how I feel about the players in the state of Pennsylvania staying home and the high school coaches supporting that as well, and the community supporting that as well. I don't know if there's some special water up there, but he's from not far from where Saquon's from. 2 guys that came to Penn State that are near each other, and both have had fantastic Penn State careers. So we're going to need him to have a big game on Saturday too.
Greg Pickle, Blue 8 Illustrated, then Donnie Collins.
Hey, good afternoon, Coach. How you doing?
Good, Greg. How are you?
I'm well, thanks. Hey, I'm just curious, how do you evaluate and assess your running backs through 5 weeks, not just on the plays they're running the ball, but overall? And then through 5 weeks, has the snap count and rep count for those guys kind of played out as you expected it to before the season started?
Yeah, a couple things I would say. Again, I don't know if you can talk about the running game or the running backs on their own. It's all of it. I think in pass protection we've been good. I think in getting them the ball out of the backfield, I think we can do a little bit more of that. I think there's times where they can get out a little bit quicker so we can get the ball into their hands. I think there's times where we'd like Sean to check it down a little bit more to the running backs. But in those areas, pretty good. In the run game, I think I mentioned this, maybe last week. I'd like to see at times us be more physical and pound it up there and get the 4 and 5 yards and trust it and make sure we're inside out from a mentality in our running. But no, I think the rotation is probably played out the way I thought it would. Obviously, you'd love for somebody to really jump out and say, I'm going to get the majority of the reps, and the other guys are going to rotate in. I wouldn't say that that's necessarily happened yet. And you could have both kind of ends of that, right? You could have 3 guys that are playing at really high level, and you want to keep them all involved, or you want to have one guy that kind of takes control of the room, and the other guys are complementary pieces. Both are fine, but yeah, it's somewhat similar to how I thought it would play out. I think I probably thought we'd have a little bit more production again, but that's not just on them. That's all of us.
Donnie Collins, Times Tribune, then Audrey Snyder.
Hey, James.
Hey, Donnie.
A lot of people talk about the environment at Beaver Stadium when they come in, but I've heard a lot of players over the years say that Kinnick provides maybe the toughest environment that they've played in on the road. Do you agree with that? What makes that such a tough place to play? And do you think getting that road game against Wisconsin out of the way early in the season maybe helps you guys prepare for that a little bit?
Yeah, it's a tough environment. There's no doubt about it. We got a lot of respect, for that school and that community and the support that they give their football program. Obviously, there's special things about it. Obviously, the wave to the Children's Hospital is, I think, one of the better traditions in college football. Whenever you can support people in challenging times, you want to do that, and it's something I think is very unique to college football and very unique to the University of Iowa. But yeah, I think